Jansen Harris here with the Flying High podcast presented by the Just Good Network. We're sponsored by Yacht Socks. For creative socks and customized socks, click on the business profile below in the description. We have Real Talk with MJ with us, Steezy A. Smith, Bob Turney, and Smitty Sports. We're going to be talking about the Falcons. I had to bring a whole crew in here today, y'all, so bear with us. All of them have great insight. Let's start with you, Smitty. We know you cover everything Falcons. Let's break down the number one discussion actually here in Atlanta is Matt Ryan. Do you think Matt Ryan is capable of leading the Falcons to another Super Bowl?
It depends on how well they gel with the offense in the first 5 to 6 games. That would tell us. To keep it simple, yes, I still think he can do it. Even though you lost Julio Jones, you still have Kyle Pitts, who's going to be an ultimate weapon, lined up anywhere on the field. If Pitts and Hurst can control the middle of the field, opens up the run game, opens up the play action. So I think Matt Ryan can still put up great numbers. And yes, if the defense stands behind him, still can take them to another Super Bowl.
Okay. How do you feel about this, Steezy? About
I'm
Matt
not to
Ryan
disagree.
potentially leading the Falcons to another Super Bowl?
I'm not to disagree. I mean, look, Matt Ryan's 36 years old. I was starting to see signs of age last season, and I know Julio Jones wasn't there for 9 games. He had Calvin really step up, but until that defense improves, no matter how good Matt Ryan looks next season, there's just no way that's going to happen. I don't even know if I had this team finishing in the top 2 in their own division. I like some of the things that they did in the offseason, obviously drafting Kyle Pitts, but Matt Ryan is going to be the quarterback to lead this team to another Super Bowl, then why give away Julio Jones? I understand they needed to save cap space. They needed to sign a draft class. And without trading Julio, it was really hard to do that. But, I mean, you can't trade away one of the best receivers still in football in Julio Jones and expect Matt Ryan to lead his team to the promised land. As good as Kyle Pitts might be, it's still gonna take time for him to develop. He's not gonna all of a sudden look like an all-pro his rookie year. That defense, I don't think it improved on paper at least. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up for AJ Terrell, for Dante Fowler, who had an abysmal year last year. But I mean, there's still a lot of concerns. Mike Davis was signed at running back, but I just don't know if he could be a workhorse. And so for Arthur Smith, I know he showed a lot of promise, especially as an offensive coordinator for the Titans. Play action and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't even know if they have the run game to really operate that offense to what it can be. And so right now, I'm gonna have to say no.
Before we move to Miles on this one, were you shocked that Julio was traded to Tennessee?
Oh, me. My fault.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Man, no, I can't say I was shocked. I mean, he listed the Titans and the Patriots as one of his 2 initial teams that he wanted to go to. And so Tennessee, they had the need. They weren't really much of a threat at all in the AFC South prior to trading for Julio Jones. They had a need at wide receiver. What's his name? A.J. Brown was clamoring for him. And so I'm not surprised at all.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Miles, on Matt Ryan coming into this season and even further than this season? Do you see him leading the Falcons to a Super Bowl?
Well, in terms of this season, heck no, I don't see him leading the Falcons to a Super Bowl. I don't see that happening at all. Now, I think at this stage in his career, like Steezy said, he's 36. I think in order for him to lead a team to a Super Bowl, everything has to go right. The offensive line has to be right. The defense has to be right. And as of right now, the defense isn't shambles and the offensive line isn't shambles. I mean, last season, Matt Ryan was sacked 41 times, and if as a guy that's 36, you can't be sacked that many times. Like it's going to be a number. It's only a number of times until a guy that's 36 is going to keep getting hit on the ground by guys that are like 250 plus pounds. So I think that everything has to go right in order for Matt Ryan to lead a team to a Super Bowl. But in terms of getting a team that is that is not there over the hump, I just don't see Matt Ryan doing that at this stage of his career.